Hey there, Start here. So we've got some weekly trial content going on. There's quite a few of them. And I'm not sure how many I'll be able to get to today. I'll be working on stuff over the weekend, of course, and I'll get more content out to you guys next week. But I figured I'd start with this one because this one is actually kind of interesting. So normally these like series exclusive gear events, Gumi has just been opening up to all units from all series, and this time they've finally gone and changed it so that if you want that last reward, which of course everybody wants the lapis, right? That is the big one. You have to do it with Final Fantasy IX category units only, and that one does kind of present an issue maybe for some people that don't have a lot of Final Fantasy IX units. But we did get Freya Neovision Awakened. Freya is a 5-star unit who now has a Neovision Awakening, and if you have decent jump gear, then it can actually it's not nearly as bad. I've seen people posting auto battle clears out there of this one that take like 50, 100, 200 turns or something like that. I mean, if you want to do that, if you've already done it, great. I'm going to show you how I got this done in less than 10 turns using a couple of Neovision Awakened Freyas, as well as, some other support units. So you can bring a friend unit. So if you have a friend who has a well-geared Neovision Awakened Freya on it, definitely grab it. I've set my Neovision Awakened Freya up in my Event 1's tab, or maybe Event 2, one of the event tabs, geared for this fight. So I'm going to take Infrius because he geared his Freya for this fight. So here's the team that we're taking in. Well, we've got Amarant, who's just going to be doing his normal attack pretty much the whole fight. We have Beatrix, who will be our tank. She tanks every turn. We've got Zidane, who's really just here as a buffer and a chain slave with Amarant. And then Freya will be doing a majority of the damage. Kuja is our breaker, light imperiler. He'll also do a little bit of damage himself as well. So let's talk about the gear. So with my Amarant, I did a dual wield build with Umaro's TMR, so that he hits 4 times, and his normal attack is a bolting strike ability. Now, Amarant's sort of like, his little gimmick is that his normal attack actually hits with a pretty high modifier. So in his normal form, it's a 500 times modifier on a bolting strike chain. So if you dual wield him with Umaro's TMR, or you can put 5-star Lightning's TMR on him, but that has like no stats on it, then he will cast that 4 times. So that's a 4 times bolting strike chain. So that's a 2,000 times modifier right there, which is, it's nothing to shake a stick at. Now, of course, you do have to build him for dual wield because he wants to be TDH. His STMR is a 2-handed fist, so it's a little bit of a pain to do that. But hey, you do what you got to do. Now, it really kicks into high gear in his Brave Shift form, because that normal attack then goes up to a 1,000 times modifier. That's 500 times with a 50% ignore defense, so that's a 1,000 times modifier. And if he casts that 4 times, that is a 4,000 times modifier. He also gets a little bit of a mod boost, so he gets an extra 200, so that now becomes a 4,800 times modifier in his Brave Shift form. So not too shabby, not too shabby. That'll just help you, clear things a little bit faster. Now, you do have to build him for some killers, I think, and he's built exactly the same in both forms. It doesn't take too much. So Holy Glove is just a light elemental fist, because we don't have any way to imbue him with light, and we're going light element on this one. So that's what the Holy Gloves are doing right there. You do have to give him Genji gloves so that he can actually dual wield. He can't dual wield innately. And then just some TDW gear. And then just make sure you cap up his stone killers 300%. We don't care about LB damage, and we don't care about chain cap boost because he's dual wielding. I gave him this card because it does have 100% stone killer on it, but just use whatever you have. Beatrix, she's just going to be tanking in her Brave Shift form, so that's the only one we care about. So you do need to make sure you put Genji Shield on her for the death resist, because the boss will do single target death every now and then. Cherished Cloak is there for the stop resist, because the boss will also do single target stop. You want to make sure that you have that covered. Just use whatever gear you have that has stop resist in there. Otherwise, just give her a good spread of elemental resists. The boss does mostly fire, ice, and lightning damage, so just keep those covered. Perfect provocation so that she is your provoke tank, and then just whatever card you have in this form. You can do like Sylvie's card, that's also a good one because it's got elemental resists on it. And that's all you really need. She's just gonna tank every turn. That's all she does. She just does her cover and her mitigation. And that's it. Zidane's just wielding a light elemental weapon. I gave him Obsidian Bracer because why not? And then I gave him Ayaka's Vision card so that he can do the quad bolting strike and chain with Amarant. And that's pretty much it. He does have his STMR. He's going to be buffing the party. Not so much for the LB damage. We don't care about that. Just for the stat buffs. And that's all we really care about. So Freya. So my Freya is wielding his STMR. You can use Kane's Lance because he can imbue himself if you want, but I'm doing a bit of a budget build here. But we are doing a jump build. So Kimahri's Pendant is nice because it adds 50 times mod boost to all jump abilities. So that's 50 times mod boost there. And then you get another, I think 30 times from this. Yep, that's Ricard's STMR. And then you get, if you use Ricard's Vision card, it gives another 40 times mod to all jump abilities. So with those three things combined, you're going to be hitting pretty hard. You could go one step further and use Berserker Riku's TMR in the chest slot, but I don't have her, so I just threw in my highest attack gear that's not a Clash of Wills gear. I'm going to go with no Clash of Wills gear here, just for sort of a budget option. Crescent Moon Charm just for a high attack accessory there. And then, yeah, you don't have to worry about gearing him for killers, really. He hits Stone Killer pretty easily. Indestructible Light for Chain Cap boost. Obviously, if you have a Magister's gear, you're going to throw that in there in that spot. Yeah. And so, I think he's pretty much the same build in both forms. Yep, we're good. Make sure you're capped on jump damage and Stone Killer, which he is. Pretty much same build. Oh, I just threw Crystal Gloves in there. You don't really need it. Yep, same gear there. Awesome. All right. So Kuja, I wanted to gear him so he could do like at least a little bit of damage here. I gave him the memory chip for the chain cap boost, and I gave him the two-handed Dark Visions rod. So they just released this today. You can get the two-handed rod from Dark Visions from the Abyss weapon shop from the little Moogle in the King Mog's Palace. Same place where you get like the Dark Visions katana, Dark Visions sword and whatnot. So I picked that up today. It's 10,000 dark matter for that, because I figure that'll get used quite a bit on mages. But otherwise, just like high mag gear for him here. He's not going to be doing a whole heap of damage, but he'll contribute a little bit. Gave him Ayaka's card because it does have Stone Killer on it, which is nice. And then probably his biggest damage will be coming in his Brave Shift form when we use his LB. Alright, so just make sure he's got Stone Killer, 300% LB damage. I think he's only got 275 stone, but that's fine. Alright. And so that's it for my team. Let's check out my friend Freya. So he went with Kane's Lance, which is fine. Just means you have to make sure you imbue your Freya before you start dealing any damage. You can see we've got Kimahri's Pendant, Dragoon's Helm again. Titus's Garb doesn't really do anything for him, but it's a high attack chest piece, so that's fine. His LB doesn't really do any appreciable damage. Magister's Ring for chain cap boost, and then yeah, as you can see, he doesn't even need any killers, so he's already hitting it. Plenty of jump damage, good to go. He chose to go with this vision card just for, I guess a high attack vision card, which is fine. But if you're going, if you want to deal jump damage, Ricard's vision card is strictly better. Alright, and I think it's pretty much exactly the same in both forms, yep. So still capped on jump damage, capped on Stone Killer, good to go. Alright, so let's get in here and see how we get this one done in less than 10 turns. Alright, we'll start with Beatrix, who's just going to do cover, standing protection. She'll do that every turn. Zidane's going to start with his STMR, so we have those buffs. Yep, and our Freyas will do their LBs, because their normal form LB does a mod boost to all of their jump abilities, and a 70 times mod boost, and it lasts for 11 turns, which is quite nice. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Kuja will just do triple Seraphic Star, and Amarant is just going to do normal attack. Alright, so we'll start with Kuja and Amarant, and then Freya's. This is only going to do like maybe 3 or 4% damage if we're lucky. Yeah. This thing's incredibly bulky. I think it's got like 35 billion HP, which is why this fight is so stupid. But yeah, so there you go. Beatrix covers everything, no issue. Alright, we are going to, with our Freyas now, we'll do Lunatic Aura, Light Lance for the Imbue, and Fill LB. That way we can use the Brave Shift at LB next turn for another mod boost. So Lunatic Aura, Light Lance, Fill LB. Alright, and then we're just going to rinse and repeat with Kuja and Amarant and Beatrix. Okay, looking good. Alright, so now your Freya can shift. Do Brave Shift at LB, because this does another mod boost. I think it's 100 times to all of his jump skills. Yeah, 100 times modifier to all his jump skills. And this one only lasts for 5 turns though. And it also does a nice 40% light amp. You could go wind too if you wanted to, but I'm going light since I've got Kuja. If you had Emperor, you could go wind, and that's fine. Alright, so Kuja now is going to prepare for his burst next turns. We'll do True Seraphic Star. My time is almost up for the Imperil, and then make sure you end on time to die, because it does a mag store, so you want to make sure that's the last thing you do. Amarant can just go ahead and do that. Go ahead and send those, reload, and send Beatrix. Alright, so that Mustard Bomb ability is the one that does, it's a single target ability that has a chance to do death, also has a chance to do stop. So that's why you need death and stop resistance. Alright, Zidane is going to do Whipped Cream. Amarant is going to shift now for the better mods on his normal attack. Kuja will also shift, do his Brave Shift at LB. Freyas are going to do this skill right here, Piercing Dragon Knight Spear, because it does a triple bolting strike, move, and does a jump. Piercing Dragon, there we go. Okay, so we're going to send Kuja, Zidane, and Amarant, and then Freya, and then the 2 Freyas. There you go, nice little chunk of damage there. Nice. Alright, so next turn the Freyas will be able to land their jumps. Yeah, you notice the damage doesn't even eat through Beatrix's barrier, so like, Beatrix will never die. Yeah, we're just going to reload these guys. What I'm going to do with Kuja is actually do a double True Seraphic and a Fill LB. So we can do another Brave Shift at LB next turn. Alright, so I'll send Kuja, Zidane, and Amarant, wait for the chain, and then drop our Freyas. Boom. Yeah. You see if Freya hits hard. Freya hits hard. We might finish this on turn 7, actually. Because that's when they'll land their second jump. Alright, we'll hit reload. We'll do another LB with Kuja. And yeah, the Freyas will do their bolting strike, chain, and jump. Yep, we're definitely going to kill next turn, no problem. Okay, so for this one we're just going to reload. I'm not even going to bother with Kuja. We're just going to chain up with Zidane and Amarant and drop our Freyas. And there you go. Taking it down, taking it down. So like I said, you could go wind or light element if you have Emperor for the wind imperil and the breaks. Great, go wind with your Freya. If you've got Kuja, go light, and that's basically how you do. Obviously, if you have the new Zidane that just came out, you'll go wind. But light works just as well if you have the old version of Kuja. All right, and there we go. That's an all missions clear. Yeah, as you can see, Freya taking it away. Amarant dealing a considerable amount of damage. Kuja kind of coming in a little bit there. Yeah, and that's pretty much how we get this one done. So if you don't have all the gear or you don't have a good friend unit for this, you know, you can obviously just set up a repeat, you know, an auto battle and just wait for it to finish. But I wanted to actually try out the new Freya and see how they do, and that's how they do. So there you go, all missions clear. Give me that 300 lapis. Yeah, buddy. All right. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. I'll try to get some, you know, around to some more content. You know, I'll try to get a couple more things cleared out today. Might not get to it today. I'll try to do it over the weekend. You know, Monday or Tuesday next week at the latest. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you for following me, and I'll see you on the other side.